Good evening. My name is Catherine All, and on behalf of the League of Women Voters of Kitsap, I want to welcome you to the North Kitsap Board Directors District 2 and 5 virtual candidate forum. Okay, so the League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that doesn't support or oppose political parties or candidates. We do have a basic belief, though, that our form of government depends upon informed and active participation of its citizens, which is why we try every year to put on these forums. The candidates in the order they will be on the ballot in the primary election are District 2, Mike Desmond, Natasha Minger, and Drew McDonald. And in District 5, Barbara Waggoner, Stacy Mills, and Melanie Miller. Okay, and you've been given the rules without opening and closing statements and 1 minute for each of the answers to the questions. Please keep an eye on the digital timer. Each one of you deserves our thanks for stepping up and running for office. Please be respectful of each other. You each deserve that. Now let's get started. We'll begin with opening statements. Mike, do you want to try your sound again? Okay, well, let's start with District 5. Barbara, you'll go first with your opening statement.
Okay, hello, my name is Barb Waggoner. I'm happy to be here. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum. Thank you to all of the candidates as well. I think it's actually quite exciting that this many people are engaged and interested in serving. And I think that's a fantastic thing. Thank you to the community, for those of you watching, those of you who will take the time to be informed, make an informed decision. I appreciate that, and I thank you for considering me. I came to North Kitsap in 1986. Kingston is my home. I met my sweetheart, we got married, started my teaching career, and we raised our 2 sons in North Kitsap. I taught first at Central Kitsap School District and had the opportunity to work with the gifted education program there, moved to North Kitsap to be closer to home life, and taught at Suquamish Elementary. Took a little bit of time off, spent time with my kids, and then returned to private school where I taught and became a principal. Additionally, we have been business owners in the local community, and I'd like to bring both my experience and expertise in education and business to the school board. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Stacy?
Hi, my name is Stacy Mills, and thank you so much for putting this on tonight and for everyone participating. And I agree, it's fun to see so many people interested in running for office. So thank you for the opportunity. I was raised in Kingston and attended North Kitsap High Schools in K through 12th grades. My husband and I both graduated from North Kitsap High School, like the generations of our family before us. We attended and graduated from Eastern Washington University, and our 2 daughters both attended Wolfley Elementary, Kingston Middle School, and Kingston High School, graduating classes of 2020 and 2023. We've raised our family first in Suquamish and later moved to our home in Hansville, where we've lived for 6 years. And I've worked for the Port Gamble S'Klallam tribe since 2010. And I'm running for school board to bring my voice and experience to grow through challenges within our district to make our schools the very best they can be for the students. It's important that the board reflect our diverse community of families and that it do so transparently and openly with our community. Through my experience in state, federal, and other grants and program management and administration, I hope to work on creative use of program funding within the district. I've worked with such departments as Department of Social and Health Services, Office of Superintendent Public Instruction, and USDA which is Department of Agriculture, in partnership with tribal government to bring services to our local community of students and families. I'll work to increase openness and communication with the board and our families to ensure that we can guide our district in the most effective and efficient way forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Melanie?
Yes, thank you. I'm Melanie Miller. I'm running, yes, for Director 5 position. In the interest of time, so we can get to questions, as Catherine requested, I'm going to be really quick. I live in Kingston. We have 7 children between the 2 of us. 4 are older and either in college or out of college, or actually 5. And then we have 2 younger children that are at Wolfley Elementary in the North Kitsap Options Program, and incoming kindergartner and soon to be 4th grader. I'm running just because I feel like if we don't step forward, then who do we leave this to? I feel this is important work. I have vested interest because my children are in these schools. I need them to be great. I need my kids to thrive. I want that for other children as well. It's really important to me that we are turning out children that have strength and abilities to serve in our communities. And it makes us stronger. I also feel very strongly that our community needs to have a voice, and that's kind of been lacking a little bit, at least in my opinion. So I'm hoping to really engage with the community better. Wow, I didn't do a very good job of keeping that short, but there you have it. Thank you.
Mike, do you want to try it?
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you, and sorry about the issues. Okay, so good evening, my name is Mike Desmond. I'm a candidate for the North Kitsap School Board Director position 2. I'm a proud parent of 2 children in the North Kitsap School District, a commander in the U.S. Navy Reserves, and I've served as the school board director for the past 4 years. Being a parent in the district I serve gives me a unique perspective because my family is directly affected by the policies I vote on. I will continue to give these policy decisions the same level of attention and deliberation that all of North Kitsap families, including my own, expect. I plan to focus on 3 main areas in the next term as a school board director. My first priority is safety. All students should feel safe at school so they can focus on learning. My second priority is fairness. All students should be given the same opportunities regardless of their ability, background, or family's income. My third priority is modernizing our school facilities. All schools should have access to technology that facilitates modern teaching methods. Most importantly, I'm committed to conducting myself in a professional and collaborative manner. I will continue to work with the parents, the community, and the school district staff to ensure that we are all in for all students.
Thank you. Natasha.
Hello, my name is Natasha Fecteau Minger. I want to thank everyone for coming and valuing education and choosing to put your time towards learning about how to make a good choice for a school board. I'm Alaska Native Aleut, but I was raised in Kitsap County. I attended Central Kitsap and I graduated from Bremerton's alternative school. In the 90s, it was called Magnuson Community High School. I'm the only graduate in my family of origin. And the reason I graduated is because of teachers. At every point in my life, I had a teacher for those important times when I could have been derailed. My son is 16. He has a spectrum diagnosis. He grew up in the Bremerton School District, and I got married in 2019. We moved to North Kitsap. After the shutdown, he transferred into North Kitsap School District and attends Choice Academy. I value innovation in education and learning. I'm inspired by kids and teachers, and I really want to create an atmosphere of collaboration.
Thank you. Drew?
Good evening. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for inviting me to this forum, and thank you the rest of you candidates. Mike and Natasha, it's great to see you. I hope your campaigns are not as stressful as mine. I am a almost lifetime resident in North Kitsap. My parents moved us to North Kitsap when I was 6. I attended Wolfley, Kingston Junior High, graduated North Kitsap High School, class of 98. I met my wife, Lisa, and we have 3 children. She also graduated from North, and our kids have gone through Kingston schools as well. We live in Paulsbo, and they go to Kingston schools because my wife and my kids are Port Campbell Scum tribal members. And what matters to me most is that we provide a school system where kids are going to be graduating ready for what they go on to do next, whether that's career or college or entrepreneur. I want to get every single child ready for that next step. We have to keep them safe. We have to give them a place where they feel included and they feel like they belong. And that's what I want to work for. So I have volunteered in the school. I have coached football, and now I'm going to try this board director thing. Thank you for considering me for this position.
Thank you. Okay, let's get started on our first question. It is, who does the school board work for, and who does the superintendent work for? And we'll start with Natasha.
School board directors are an elected position, so we absolutely work for our community. That's why the school boards are created to be small, so they can be responsive to community needs and listen to what the community is saying. The superintendent is hired by the school board and managed by the school board.
Thank you. Drew?
Yeah, I agree with what Natasha said. The school board works for the constituents, the people that elect them, and their responsibility is invested into one executive director who has the power to manage the entire district. And the job of the school board is to be available to the community, bring the information the community wants, the community's concerns, and write policies for the superintendent to enforce through procedures that the superintendent and their staff will write. The superintendent works for the school board. So it is the superintendent's job to take the policies from the board and implement them throughout the entire district.
Thank you. Mike?
Sorry, mute button. So I would say that the school board works first for the students. It's important that we always keep in mind that our job as a school board director is always to provide the best learning environment for the students. After that, I think it's important that we partner with parents, and then that we partner with the community. We make ourselves accessible and available at all times to all of those stakeholders, which I would add also includes the teachers too. As for the superintendent, as was stated before, the superintendent is hired and evaluated by the school board. However, I think that they also have a responsibility to those same stakeholders so that we can all work in partnership for our students. Thank you.
Okay. Stacy?
That was pretty all-encompassing answer that you guys have given. I would agree. So keeping the students in mind first, but also understanding we are elected positions. So I see the students as my constituents. Their families are voters. So it kind of goes both ways as stakeholders there. And yeah, the position of the superintendent would be to report to the board, and that the board, hires, evaluates, reviews the superintendent. Always wanting to have the input of the community, the staff, the students, that to guide our decisions, guide our votes, guide our policymaking, and really to put forward the best policies that we can to really make a big impact in a positive way on our students. Thank you.
Okay, Melanie?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I see that the board works for the community. We are the community's representatives. I feel that like our main goals and our job as a board is to focus on student achievement and student success, that we're creating a learning environment that's going to be student-centered, that is our work, and also good governance, responsible stewardship of our resources. So I see those more as like the job of the board, but I see that but we work for the community. Like we are community. We are just the elected people that are working on the community's behalf to do these things. And the superintendent, she works for the board. So we hire her, we evaluate her performance. Yeah, she works for us. That's how I see this. So thank you.
Okay, Barbara?
Sorry, I'm a tidge awkward here, but doing my best. We answer to the community, specifically the best interest of our students, their parents, their families in general, the community at large, incorporating teachers, staff, administrators. Our job is one of oversight, and I'd like to think encouragement and collaboration with our one employee, who is the superintendent.
Okay. Next question. How would you engage and involve parents, students, staff, and community members in the decision-making process of the school board? And Drew, you get to go first on this one.
Thank you. Involving parents, all the stakeholders you just mentioned, is the most important thing to me when it comes to decision making, because there is a lot that I don't know about how to run a school. I want to know from the people who are doing the work, from the people who are impacted by it, the parents that have to interface with it, and the community that's funding it, how they want to see the decisions made. So my plan is to be accessible, and that means I'm going to maintain the phone number that I have had for 25 years is going to stay my phone number so people can get a hold of me. I'm out in the community. I live here. So if someone wants to talk to me, I think I'm approachable. Let's have a conversation. And I've said on my website, on my Facebook, I love coffee. So let's get together, have a cup of coffee, and let me know what you need the board to know, what you need me to know when I talk to the board. That's my plan.
Okay, thanks. Mike?
Yes, I would agree. Is important to be accessible at all times. To be accessible through text message, phone calls, emails. I would say that due to OPMA requirements, we're not able to utilize personal devices. So utilizing the devices that the school issues us. In addition to that, school board meetings through public comment, I think is very important. Also being out in the community through different community events and partnering through government to government meetings with our different stakeholders, including both of our tribes that we have in the district. And then also through community surveys that we issue, such as Panoramic. I would say that as a board director right now, I read every single one of those comments, and those help form policy decisions that are made.
Thank you. Natasha,
Could you repeat the question?
how would you engage and involve parents, students, staff, and community member in the decision-making process of the school board?
Thank you. So first, I am invested in doing and relooking at how we are allowing people to come into the meeting and speak. I think that the process for signing up is inequitable. So making some changes to that will allow more people to come. I also believe that we can have advisory boards and committees. We could have discipline policy committee is vital to any district, and on those committees are stakeholders. And in those places is where live, real conversation and collaboration and ideas can be brought forth. I do advocacy all the time, and we bring stakeholders to the table, and the conversations aren't always easy, but that is where real relationships are created.
Thank you. Melanie?
I'm in agreement that face-to-face, in-person communication and involvement with people is how you build relationships, especially in situations where there's a lack of trust. And so Yes, in addition to being available in the community, I think like going to PTA meetings and being available for people to meet up, whether it's for coffee or on the phone. I think that that's all very important. I also really do want to see more extensive engagement. We should have more committees than just the two that I'm aware of. Maybe there's more, but I'm not finding more. And I think there should be student and parent liaisons to the board. Like there are best practices on how to engage the community and have all the stakeholders have a voice. And I don't know that we're doing that very well. So yes, I think we need a lot more community committees, more involvement, liaisons to the board, and
Your
in-person
time's up. I'm sorry.
communication. Yeah, that's fine. Good. I'm done.
Barbara? Barbara? Please don't mute your internet, because it takes time then to get you back up to speed. So leave the sound on.
Okay. So just to regroup, will you repeat the question one more time? Thank you.
Yes, how would you or how do you engage and involve parents, students, staff, and community members in the decision-making process of the school board?
Thank you. It's been an interesting role as an appointed member of the board. One of my, I'm going to say head scratchers, is figuring out how to connect with people in a way that's meaningful. I think we've come out of the pandemic period, and people have been reticent to become involved, reticent to make connections. I think it's time that we find our way back. I've heard it said from other candidates, face to face, human to human. Conversations need to be had. I'm very interested in people's concerns, their ideas. I think we work better together than separate. I love the idea of committees, assuming there are people who are willing to step forward and serve, as that often is a difficulty. But if there are interested people who want to serve on committees and have input and influence, I fully support that. Thank you.
Thanks. Stacy?
In order to engage in our decision making, I think our stakeholders, I think one of the things we need to do is really make sure we're following, for one, the consultation guidelines to our two tribes in our school district. I think we're unique in that we do have those two tribes. I think they're a valued asset to us, and I really want to make sure we're reaching out in the best way possible. And working as a true partnership. I also think it's important. I would like to explore ideas and get creative a little bit. Maybe we do some sort of like quarterly rotating board meetings at the schools in addition to the regular ones, just for community input only. So they have a full amount of time, you know, to really give us input, so that when we go to the regular decision making, we have that input already, and we kind of already have that interface as a group together. All board members be at a regular meeting as well.
Okay. All right. And some of you sort of answered part of this, but this is school board meetings are governed by state law, but a lot remains up to the discretion of the school board. Do you support full discussion of issues being voted at public meetings? Would you change the public comment process? Mike, you get to go first.
Sure. So two parts to that question. First, would I support full discussion of issues being voted on? Absolutely. As a school board member, any issue that comes up for a vote, there's always a discussion period where we're able to ask questions. The superintendent is very good about making her and her staff available to answer any questions. I think as a school board member, it's very important that you do the preparation prior to the school board, so that you have those discussions, get those questions answered even before it comes up to the vote. But again, we do have that discussion period. And then the other thing is, would I make any changes to the meeting process? A lot of those are state requirements. You know, if we do like to make any changes, I think that we can partner with other school boards to try to get those changes made. But anything to improve community involvement is always interested in that.
Okay, Natasha?
So I would absolutely make changes to the way we receive public comments. I have attended many other school board meetings, and people who come to speak are allowed to speak within reason, obviously, but I've been at school board meetings where they extend the time so that people can be heard, and I am passionate about that. I think that the way that people enroll to be able to speak is difficult. If you're driving to a meeting, how do you get online to do that? So those are the things. And the second part was, I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Do you support full discussion of?
Oh, yes, 100%.
At a public meeting, not.
Yes, I do support that discussion. I also would like to see those discussions and include stakeholders in smaller ways where we can bring those ideas into the bigger discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Drew?
Yeah, I would really like to see the learning portion of the discussions when the stakeholders and executives bring their interests to the board. I'd like to see that done in front of the public. There are ways to do that. I've heard of ways, for instance, where work sessions are posted online. I would like to see, and one of the first things that I would move to do if I was to be elected would be to see our board meetings posted live on YouTube specifically, because boards have been doing that for decades. I want to see the public comment period changed and opened up. And honestly, I don't know what that exact solution is. I don't think any one solution would work. I want us to be open-minded, and let's try some stuff. Let's try the input and let the people tell us, how did that work? And let's try something different until we find a solution that works for the people.
Thank you. Barbara?
I think it's obvious, given the feedback that we've received recently, that some things need to change. I think there is a sense that the work that we're doing isn't transparent. I don't think there's any intent by the current board to hide the work that they're doing. I think we're actually deliberately working very, very hard in preparation for the meetings. The perception is that it's secretive or not transparent. I would like to fix that. I've heard some really interesting ideas from the other candidates that I think are wonderful. I think we need to creatively address this issue and make sure that people feel informed, involved, and heard.
Okay, thank you. Stacy?
Yeah, I know that one of the ways to have those public discussions, I completely do agree. I think it would be great. I know WASDA supports like work study or different sessions as open public meetings, so that those learning and discussion opportunities can happen where the stakeholders have the opportunity at that time to hear the learning that's coming about and really be a part of that process. And I agree, Barbara. I think there's a lot of work going on. There's a lot of hard work going on in the background, and it's hard for the public to know and understand what that actually looks like and is. So I think there's ways we could do that. I would think that there would be many different ways we could change the opportunity for public comment and input. I think we need to revamp the current meeting structure a little bit. That sign-in process is just, again, inequitable is all I can think of too, Natasha. I just, thank you.
Okay. All right, Melanie?
Yes, I am in agreement. There needs to be some changes here. I don't have all of the ideas. I think, like Drew mentioned, I think we should try different things and see what works, because the ultimate goal is that people feel heard and have an opportunity to speak, and that we are receptive, or that the board is receptive and people feel heard. And and people don't know what's happening, like when you're voting on things, and then obviously you've had other discussions. we're sitting there wondering what those discussions were. We have no idea. And we would have, I think that, again, that builds trust if we understand your thought processes and the deliberation that you went through. So yes, I think openness to the working groups would be very helpful. I do want to say one thing too that's very specific. I really do not care for the opening before people make public comment. There is a long preamble. I'll say this really quick. We should not be threatening people that we're going to call law enforcement. It's very off-putting. Okay, thank you.
All right. The next question is, what strategies would you employ to foster a positive and inclusive school climate where diversity is celebrated and students feel safe and respected? Natasha?
Okay. What would I employ to improve diversity and increase safety? That's a really thick question. I would say it's about relationships. It's about people feeling that they're heard and valued, seen and known by name. That teachers come into teaching because they want to inspire kids. That's what inspires and it feeds them. And I want to give teachers space for that. Those things are all about relationships, and by modeling relationships, modeling what healthy conflict looks like. Conflict is kind of a negative word, but I tend to believe that conflict is where relationships happen. And so if we can do that as adults and leaders, then we can model it for kids. I hope that's good.
Drew?
Yeah, I think the diversity in our community is actually what makes our community great, because there are so many different backgrounds and cultures and perspectives represented here. I would like to see us engage in conversations face to face when possible, in groups large and small, and have people present what makes their culture unique so that others can understand where that culture comes from, so that it's not just a story from the page of a book, but getting people together to have conversations about what the different meanings of words mean to them, and how certain words make people feel intimidated, and some words feel that same word feels completely normal to someone else. That way we can have an understanding before we have the tough conversations, and then let's bring up the tough issues, and let's be respectful of other people's time, and let's have those conversations and work through to the end and find a solution.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
Yes, so I think the key is just fostering and celebrating student voice. I think that's really where, if an issue occurs, that's where it's going to be solved. But very pleased with the current building and district administrators. They're pushed through student voice through creating working groups of students, and these truly are a cross section of the student population. It's not just your ASB leaders. It's picking a representative group of the school. So I think it's important that, again, we celebrate it, we listen to those students, and we value their feedback, and we make changes based on that. And then, at the board level, we're working very hard to get our student representatives back on, not to impact their learning during the evenings. And then also just continue to invest in social emotional learning curriculum, such as the Character Strong program, and not just in teach it, but make sure that we're employing it.
Thank you. Stacy?
Yeah, I think it's really important, for one thing, that it come across very strongly that we have a zero tolerance policy for any harassment, bullying, racism, anything in our schools, to make our students, make it seen to our students that we really stand behind them and support them in being heard and being seen. I really love and value the culture, the cultural diversity that we have in our community. And it's wonderful always when we have the opportunity, now that the pandemic is kind of over, right? That we can get together in person and share some of those exchanges, whether it be within our tribal communities, our Hispanic communities, any of our communities that are part of our schools. I just think it's so important to do that so that we can know and understand each other and really be a great, strong voice for the whole district to really make sure and shine value on everyone in that way.
Thank you. Melanie?
Could you repeat the question one more time? I just want to make sure I've
Oh,
got
it's about how do you foster a positive and inclusive school climate where diversity is celebrated and students feel safe and respected?
Yes. Okay. I actually think that this work needs to be very intentional because I've seen this done well and it's wonderful. I think that in our classrooms, children need to be able to see themselves in our curriculum and in their environment. We need to not only just be celebrating their cultures and their differences that they have in their families. It needs to be present. There needs to be books that show kids with brown skin and kids that have two mothers and two fathers. There needs to be, like, I really feel strongly that kids need to feel like they see themselves in their learning environment, that they belong there, that they belong in school. I also would emphasize I agree with Stacy. There needs to be an absolute zero tolerance for harassment and racism, and we need to be very clear so that students know that they are safe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Barbara?
Yeah, lots of deep thinking on this, in that I think diversity can be our strength. Sometimes people become pitted against one another the more we look for commonalities, things that we have shared agreement on, and begin to listen and be curious about where we're different. I love the idea of zero tolerance for any kind of bullying in any way. Our students need to be safe physically, they need to be safe emotionally, and just shout out to the teachers who do the work day in and day out in their classrooms to make the setting such that a student feels safe. The teachers are the heroes in this. And so I would end with the fact that I think what we do to support them in that work will foster the best environment possible.
Okay. Next question. And some of you've mentioned this before in some of your answers, but how would you improve the relationship between the district and the tribes? And we'll start with Drew.
I love this question because I think it's so important. The definitions of words, the differences of definitions. One word to me means one thing, to somebody else it means something completely different. We need to reach out to the tribes because the tribes are more than happy to share their culture and share their space and share their time. And they're so generous with that. I would like to see us go to the tribes and meet with them in their cultural centers and learn their stories, invite the children, go on field trips to the tribal museums and see their important places. And let's show the non-tribal community that this tribal history is so rich and so important, and it makes our region unique and special. And let's see how great the tribal community is, and then let's show each other that we can respect each other's differences.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
Sorry. Yes, I think first it's important to recognize within the North Kitsap School District, we have numerous tribes that are represented throughout our students, not just two. So in regards to the Suquamish tribe and the Port Campbell Squam tribe, we have specific government-to-government relationships with them. And within those government-to-government relationships, we are required to partner in consultation, which I believe that we do. We do that through the school board meetings. We also do that through other meetings afterwards. We have liaisons. So I think it's important that we continue to partner with them. listen to them, make changes, which I feel that we're doing right now, but we can always improve. And I think that we need to maintain that strong relationship because they are part of the community and they're part of our culture within North Kitsap School District.
Okay, Natasha?
So I'm Alaska Native. This question means a lot to me. We are one of 2 districts in the entire lower 48 continental United States that serve 2 sovereign tribes. Yes, there are many Native American cultures represented in our district, but we have a distinct, unique relationship with sovereign nations. And to have a government-to-government relationship with them. I'm actually not really a fan of the way that the tribes have been treated and the way that I've, in the meetings that I have witnessed. And so I would like to see us really lean into the STI curriculum, which is about tribal sovereignty. We need every student in Washington state to understand what tribal sovereignty is so that Natives can actually have their sovereign rights. Thank you.
Thank you. Melanie?
Yes, I definitely think that our tribes are they're just such a gift and a resource that we have them. It did surprise me that when I met with them, that it was as if they really haven't had a lot of conversation or engagement with our district. I really think we should partner with them. They are strong and they have amazing resources that they could be like culturally that they could be sharing with our schools. And they are such a large presence here. We absolutely should engage them in what we're doing and in our business. So, yeah.
Thank you. Barbara?
Yes, I think the district has definitely done a good job of I'd like to say formal government to government partnership, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. There's a lot involved in that. I think we also work well with the liaison positions for the tribal members to come in and work with the students. I recently visited the Port Gamble S'Klallam Tribe Education Center and spent quite a bit of time there just visiting with Tony Jones to find out more about the work that she does and that her team does. It goes back to what I said earlier, which is face-to-face human connection, being curious, being interested. So many educational opportunities for our students, for our families to grow and know the rich heritage of the 2 prominent tribes that are in our area. Thank you.
Okay, Stacy?
Yeah, so this is near and dear to me as well. I've grown up here, and I grew up in an era where I came through the Indian education programming at our school that was open to everyone. And that was such a huge value and a benefit to me as I grew up. And then became my goal to work here at home. And that's what I'm doing and able to do because of that knowledge and education and understanding that I received. I think it's imperative as adults and as stakeholders and government to government partnerships that we model that absolutely, because our children learn from what they see. They learn from what they feel. So when our district and our tribes work well together, face to face, some of you mentioned, and in different creative ways, that goes so far. I also appreciate both tribes for all of the funding and financial assistance they provide to our children of our community broadly, not limited, but broadly. It is something that is a wonderful value that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question. Should the school board meetings be recorded and posted on the website? Mike, we'll start with you.
Yes. Yep. Sorry about that. Forgot. So in reference to the school board meetings being reported and recorded and posted, part of this was COVID was a challenge, as it was for everybody. and we transitioned from an in-person to a Zoom meeting. We've since gone back to a hybrid model. I think it's important we maintain that hybrid model where we do both in-person and Zoom meetings because not everybody has the ability to go to those meetings. And posting those board meetings, those recordings, as long as it does not impact student learning. I think there's a lot of overhead that's required to record and all the mechanics that go behind posting that. But I think it's something that we need to continue to listen to and evaluate.
Okay, Natasha?
Yes, I do think that the meetings should be recorded and posted online. I think that the meeting minutes should be robust and reflective of the conversation that is had so that it's easy to track what is happening. School board meetings are not easily, lots of families work during those times and can't attend, but yet want to know what is going on. And I think that we have the technology that is at our fingertips now at this point would make it easy to be able to transcribe or record and post and share this information out and then be able to get feedback in other ways also. Thank you.
Thank you. Drew?
Yes, I love this question. I've said it before in this forum. I'm going to say it again. Yeah, put it on the school's website. That's great. But we're going to go a step further. We're putting it on YouTube because everybody knows how to use YouTube. The district already has multiple YouTube channels. We just open another one, and it is so easy to just hit broadcast, and everything goes out. YouTube will actually automatically put timestamps on portions of a meeting, and I'm sure we can get somebody to help us put important timestamps for topics and whatnot, and then it's documented and it's cataloged and it's searchable, and anybody who wants to see what a board member looked like or their kid getting their award at the board meeting from now in perpetuity will be able to get that information, and it'll be easy to see who knew what, who said what, when was that done, how did they say it. We absolutely need to get this done. It's going to be one of my first priorities if I get the job.
Okay. Barbara?
Okay, I love your enthusiasm, Drew. I think that's fantastic. And I'm going to just simply say, yes, they should be recorded. They should be posted. I think it potentially comes at a cost. It comes at a cost of the time that it takes to do that, but I think it's very achievable and very necessary.
Okay. Stacy?
Boy, what a wonderful opportunity to partner with our student body. I know when we need technical help, who do we go to? We go to our students. That's what I do in my home. So what a wonderful opportunity to involve our students, to get those visual communication students involved, get the student body represented at the same time as having those technical skills refreshed and refined. They know what they're doing. Let's go to the experts. I think we could do it. I think we could do it at really no expense in trade for an educational experience that we need to be giving our kids. Also getting them civically minded and civically thinking forward and attending meetings and being part of that posting. Make them part of it so they have a vested interest. They are students. They are who we work for. So I think partnering with our student body and making it simple, like Drew said, but also some of the other ideas, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to engage our teens and our learners and utilize those skills that we have, because boy, I know that's how it works in most households anyways.
Thank you. Melanie?
I think Stacy and Drew have great ideas. And I was like, yeah, they absolutely should be posted. And I think those are great ideas. Thanks.
Okay, that was quick. Okay, next question. Regarding the no confidence vote by teachers, would you as a board member meet with teachers to listen to their concerns? Natasha?
I would like to meet with teachers all year long. I understand that there are places in the collective bargaining agreement where things are, they have to be very specific and focused because of that. But there should not be all of a sudden a surprise that teachers are have no confidence. That if we were engaged in ongoing conversations and collaboration and meetings where stakeholders were present and we were hearing from our community, then we would know that. So, yeah, I hope that answered the question. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Drew?
Absolutely. You know, a good portion of our teachers in the school district are residents and parents as well. So having teachers' input, because they are the boots on the ground, they're also customers of our school district by entrusting their students with the district. We definitely want to know what they have to say. So again, yes, I would meet with anyone who wanted to have a meeting with me. I know there are rules. I'm not looking to break any rules, but I shop at Central Market. If we're in the produce section and you want to have a conversation, cool, let's talk. You're going to see me on the sideline of a football game. Let's talk, maybe at halftime. But yeah, I'm absolutely open to having those conversations. And like I said earlier, one-on-one, 1-on-5, me and a gym full of them, I'm down. Let's have the conversations that are going to make this thing better.
Okay. Mike?
So as a current school board director, I just want to recognize that we are in open bargaining with the teachers. So I don't want to comment on any actions or statements out of respect for both sides of the bargaining team. So completely outside of that, I will just tell you that I intend to continue to make regular school visits where I can partner and engage with teachers. And most importantly, as a parent, I value the communications that I have with teachers with my own children. But I think through school visits and our school board connections meetings, which I think are outstanding, we need to continue to make those a priority so those get done so we can get direct teacher feedback. And then also just, again, continue to make ourselves available at any point to any stakeholder. Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy?
So I do recognize there would be, appropriate ways to do so, but as stakeholders and just the value that our teachers bring to our district, yes, I do think it's important in whatever appropriate way we could do so. I think it's important also that when you're evaluating somebody and how they do their job, that we know and understand how the folks that report to them feel and how they're seen and that they're heard too. So I want to find a good appropriate way to do so. And sometimes the hard conversations can involve everyone, but sometimes that's what's needed to get the good feedback and to really move forward and collaborate in a positive way and make sure that our kids are getting the very best, make sure our superintendent's giving the very best, and making sure that our schools are the very best. I think we have to talk to everyone in order to do so. I'm happy to do that. I love our teachers. I value them, and they're so needed in the work that everyone does. They're a big piece, obviously.
Thank you. Melanie?
Yes, I absolutely agree. We need to be engaging with the teachers. I have to say, I'd be curious to know how would they like to be engaged with. The teachers union has no confidence. I'd like to know their ideas of how they would like to engage with the board, because I want that relationship to be strong. They are our community, and I agree. We need their feedback to know, because they're the ones that are making the difference face to face in our classrooms. If the teachers are not feeling supported and there's problems, it carries over, it has an impact on our kids and our students. So they are really important stakeholders. And I would like to know how best we can communicate with them and engage with them. I'm sure that they have ideas because they're smart people. Thank you.
Barbara?
Listening is always a good idea. So yes, I'm always interested in what teachers would have to say about their experience. I would also encourage them to utilize, for lack of a better term, chain of command. Be talking to their principal, be working within the context of their association. But once again, listening. I'd be interested in listening to their ideas, their concerns, always. Thank you.
Okay. And we're not going to get to a few other questions that were submitted because we're just running out of time. And I'm running out of energy because that's my second forum to do today. But anyway, I would like to go to the closing statements now. And we'll start with the district. Okay, we opened with District 5. We'll go to District 2 candidates. Drew, you get to go first.
Well, again, thank you to all these participants and thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this so that we can be informed voters. I appreciate this time. I just want to make it clear that I am coming at this as someone who is concerned about the condition of our school district. And I want to just put my hat in the ring and say, I'm willing to get involved and try to make things better. I know that there are so many perspectives and so many ideas. We need to bring them together. We need to be able to listen and be willing to try things, also be willing to fail and then try something new. And when it comes to meeting with the various groups and the stakeholders, whether it be about the condition of students, the conditions of minorities and how they're perceiving their safety with the teachers, I want to be known as somebody who will meet with anybody on any topic. When it comes to specifically the board's liaison to the tribes, if I get elected, I'm going to raise my hand and say, please let it be me. I would love to have that honor and that challenge. And for our voters, thank you for taking the time to inform yourselves on who we are and what it is you're picking. I hope that you're going to make the best decision because my kids are going to be in this district for another 7 years, and I want this thing to be great. I really believe in North Kitsap and the school district.
Thank you. All right, Natasha.
Drew is really exciting. I mean, like he's got it. But I would like to take a moment to address an accusation that I'm hiding something. In 2002, I was arrested and convicted of a felony drug charge, and I spent 8 months in prison. And I did not put that in my ballot statement because no one leads with their trauma. I'm a child with an ACEs score of 9, and I managed to raise a son that does not have one. And I'm very proud of that. I did that as a single mom. I've been committed to volunteering in my community since I was in high school. And there was a time in my life where it went off the rails, but I brought it back, and I have 7 years clean, and I've been working on my recovery for more than 10. And I was not trying to hide anything. And anyone who knows me knows that about me. I've never, ever denied that. My past is who I am. It is important, and I understand because it impacts my decisions, but it does not define me. And I am excited to serve my community, and I will continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you. So as I mentioned in my opening statement, I've served as a North Kitsap School Board Director since 2019. It's hard for me to convey how much I enjoyed serving the students, parents, staff, and community in the North Kitsap School District during that time and how fulfilling it has been. I'm very proud of the things we've accomplished in the past 4 years. First, we ensured that the safety of the students and the financial stability through one of the most challenging periods in the history of the North Kitsap School District. The global pandemic brought about a period of ever-changing requirements and funding. But during that time, we were able to steward our budget to minimize impacts to student learning while still providing a safe learning environment. Next, we implemented blending learning. This would not have been possible without the procurement and development of over 5,000 Chromebooks to every NKSD student. So that these devices will ensure that every student has a chance to continue learning over the summer and minimize learning loss, regardless of their socioeconomic status. Finally, we have had numerous capital improvement projects through the passage of the capital levy. These projects have begun the process of recovering from years of deferred maintenance, and they'll also help us explore modernization. Over the next 4 years, I promise to conduct myself in a professional manner while conducting to partner with students, parents, staff, and the North Kitsap community to ensure our students have a safe, fair, and modern learning environment. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go to the District 5 candidates, starting with Melanie.
I'd just like to thank everybody for being here and participating. I have to say I'm very excited about the candidates. I just really feel like we have a lot of new energy and good ideas, and it really gives me hope as a parent that there's a lot of caring people that want to like step up, participate, and make our schools great for our kids and for our community, and I'm just very thankful for that. Yes, I really want to focus on the kids. I want them to, that I feel that that's like our #1 job as a board, and to make sure that they are successful human beings as they leave, that they feel, and that includes their learning environment needs to support them. We need to be supporting them with multiple pathways to find success. I really feel strongly about that. I would love to have a trade school like West Sound Tech on the North End. I think we need lots of ways for kids to succeed, and I think it needs to be a strength-based approach so that we're not leaving so many kids behind, because I feel like we are leaving way too many kids behind. The second piece, I really think we do need healing in our community. We are struggling with some trust issues here. And I really see that the board needs to do a lot of outreach to correct that. Finally, we're a really strong community. We have great resources and great people. So let's get in there and we can make this great. So thank you.
All right. Stacy?
Yeah, once elected to the board, I just really feel it's important to really emphasize and bring back that community piece. I've been in this district my whole life. 3 generations ahead of me as well have. I've seen this district be the community schools and be the strength of our community. I love what David H. Wolfley stood for and some of the things that he did to bring education further into our community. I think there's been great work done in the past, and I think we can continue that great work and continue it through and get some really great new creative and innovative ways to do so. I think it's going to take all of us. It's going to take working with everyone in the community, no one left behind. It's going to take just some real creative energy, and I'm excited that it sounds like tonight that we have that. So I just thank everyone for attending, because it's so important that we be involved voters and that we educate ourselves on who we're voting for and what we're voting for. And I'd ask that if you support advocating for academic achievement and equity and empowered students in our district, that you might vote for me and consider that I have what it takes to be that voice, to advocate for our students, advocate for our staff, advocate for our community and the wants and needs therein. And just continue to do great work that the board's doing. I want to thank our current board members as well for the work they've put in. I know it's not easy. So moving forward, I look forward to getting more engaged. Thank you.
Okay. And Barbara?
Thank you to the League of Women Voters again for providing this forum to the fellow candidates. This has been a really encouraging night, I have to say. I'd like to also thank the current board and the current administration. I would encourage everybody in our community to go volunteer in a school. The time that I have spent in schools fills my heart. There are so many good things going on, and there are so many great people in our community. The good far outweighs the bad, and we need to remember that. Sometimes hardship, the things we're experiencing currently, criticisms of the board and the leadership bring change, and good comes out of bad. I'm okay with that. As I said earlier, always willing to listen. I'm here to serve my community. I'm so thankful to have the opportunity at this season in my life. It's pretty sweet to take all of my years in education and business and take what I've learned, share it with my community in terms of service for our students, families, and that's what it's all about. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to say now, we want to thank BCAT for recording this forum for broadcast on cable channel 3 or 12. But I also want to brag that the League has also recorded this tonight, and it will be on our website in a couple of days. And the website is lwv-kitsap.org. And we do this all by volunteers. It's not rocket science. I just had to brag about that a little bit, but I want to say this recording is owned by the League of Kitsap and may not be used for any purpose without the explicit written permission of the League of Women Voters of Kitsap. And I go through these forums. I've been doing it for years and years and years for various candidates. And you all always, the candidates make me very proud to live in this area. You all have had different views on subjects, but you've been respectful of each other, which is to be expected, but it doesn't always happen in other areas. But North Kitsap in general is pretty darn good at this. So thank you all for coming tonight, and thank you all for your ideas. And please encourage friends, family, neighbors to go to the League website, and they can watch this video and also the video of the District 4 candidates. So have a good rest of the night. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was lovely. Thank you.